November 26, 1930. On the front page of a Canadian newspaper, a terrifying headline shocks the entire nation. It reads, "The Village of the Dead." Overnight, an entire community of over 100 people vanished into thin air. No footprints, no signs of a struggle, and absolutely no clues. They were just gone. Welcome back to another chilling mystery. Deep in the freezing wilderness of northern Canada lies Anjikuni Lake. This area is incredibly remote, spanning millions of square kilometers of brutal, icy terrain where very few humans dare to live. But back in 1930, a small, peaceful Eskimo village stood right on the edge of this lake. Around 150 people lived here, surviving by fishing and hunting. They were known to be warm, welcoming, and friendly to outsiders. But on one freezing winter night, that warmth turned into a ghost story that remains unsolved to this day. It was a brutally cold November night. A fur hunter named Joe LaBelle was making his way through the wilderness. He had been hunting all day and didn't realize how quickly darkness had fallen. With the temperature dropping rapidly, Joe decided to head toward the Anjikuni village. He had stayed with them before and knew they would give him shelter. Under the bright moonlight, Joe walked toward the settlement. But as he got closer, something felt deeply wrong. Usually, the village dogs would start barking from a distance. Tonight, there was only dead, heavy silence. Joe speeded up his pace, thinking maybe the villagers were asleep. From a distance, he saw the tents. He even saw smoke rising from some of the chimneys. But when he finally stepped into the village, his blood ran cold. There was not a single soul in sight. No men, no women, no children. Not even a single animal. Joe began checking the tents randomly, hoping to find someone. What he found instead was terrifying. In several tents, pots of food were still sitting on the stoves. The food inside was completely burnt to ash. This meant someone was cooking dinner when suddenly, something made them drop everything and run. In another tent, he found women's clothing with the needle and thread still stuck in the fabric, as if the person sewing had vanished mid-stitch. It looked like a normal evening that was suddenly frozen in time. Joe searched further, and the horror escalated. He found the village sled dogs. They were still tied to the trees, but they were all dead, starved to death. What's crazy is that there were open food storage units nearby, but there was no human alive to feed them. Then, Joe stumbled upon the village graveyard. One of the graves had been freshly dug up, and the body inside was gone. Terrified, alone, and surrounded by a silent village of ghosts, Joe couldn't take it anymore. He fled into the night, rushing to the nearest telegraph office to alert the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. When the police arrived at Anjikuni Lake, they confirmed everything Joe said was true. At first, detectives suspected an enemy tribe or bandits had attacked the village. But there was a major flaw in that theory. If there was a massacre, where was the blood? Where were the signs of a fight? Nothing was broken, and no valuable items were stolen. Then, the search team discovered something truly impossible. The entire village was covered in a thick layer of fresh snow. But there were absolutely no footprints leaving the village. None. The only footprints in the entire area belonged to Joe LaBelle himself. Think about it. If 150 people left the village, how did they walk away without leaving a single footprint in the snow? The lake was frozen solid, and all the village boats were still parked securely on the shore. If they had drowned or been thrown into the water, the thick ice layer would have been cracked or broken. But the ice was perfectly intact. Forensic investigation revealed that the villagers had actually disappeared 8 days before Joe even arrived. The dogs had starved over those 8 days. But what about the smoke Joe saw? Experts explain that when specific types of logs burn out, they can emit a slow, steady stream of smoke for days. The police launched a massive search operation lasting months. They looked everywhere, questioned everyone, but found zero answers. Eventually, the case was marked as unsolved and locked away in the archives. 50 years later, in 1984, authors Roger Bohr and Nigel Blundell published an article that completely changed how people looked at this case. They connected the mystery to extraterrestrials. According to their research, other hunters in the area reported seeing strange, glowing objects changing shapes in the sky right above Anjikuni Lake during the week of the disappearance. The objects were flying directly toward the Eskimo village. This led to a wild theory. Did aliens abduct the entire village? While it sounds like a perfect movie plot, the authors had no concrete evidence. And mainstream investigators rejected the theory. Over the years, people have created countless stories, but the truth remains hidden. It has been nearly a century since that cold November night, and the question remains, where did the people of Anjikuni Lake go? How did an entire tribe vanish without leaving a single footprint? The mystery remains completely unsolved. What do you think happened to the lost tribe? Was it a natural event? Something supernatural? Or a mystery we aren't meant to understand? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.